By analyzing these reports, we tried to draw out the most urgent themes mentioned by the bishops themselves. It's 49 reports that we've analyzed out of a total of 137 bishops' conferences and Eastern Church synods. Now, this analysis has, benefits and limitations. Of course, it's about qualified interlocutors, these bishops' conferences. Many local churches are represented and come from all areas of the world. However, this analysis also presents with some limitations. The themes perceived by the bishops as priorities, also on the basis of contingencies. For example, themes such as life, national bills discussed at the time, and approximately half of the reports that we've analyzed refer to visits that took place before 2020. And 2020, it's the year the pandemic outbroke, and that changed everything. However, let's see from these graphs the hottest topics mentioned by bishops' conferences. Abortion, legal abortion in those countries where legal systems admit abortions, and illegal abortions. It is another important topic is contraception. As you can see, there are many more hot topics. End of life, social matters, death sentence, wars, violence on women, or violence in general. So I would dare to say that many of the topics treated in Dignitas Infinita were already present in the bishops' debates. So some preliminary considerations. First, the awareness. Awareness is already emerging from the ad limina visits that the pastoral care of life is not limited to questions of the beginning and end of life, but it encompasses all issues extending to the social, educational, cultural, and political spheres. Ms. Gambino also mentioned that there are considerable differences among the different geographical areas perceived by the bishops. Legal abortion is perceived by the totality of European bishops as a very important topic. The values are lower or higher, in terms of illegal abortion in the Latin American country where this practice is quite widespread. Contraception. It is another important topic. This is particularly urgent in America, in Europe a little bit less, and in Africa and Asia even lesser. In vitro fertilization is quite felt in America, in Europe, as well as surrogate motherhood. This is another topic that is only mentioned in the reports from the American continent. Gender and sexuality. This is considered as urgent in Europe and Oceania, less in other continents. Violence on women is very relevant in Africa and America, as well as women and minors trafficking. Drugs and addictions, it's very relevant in America. Suicides, America, Europe, Asia, Oceania, on the other hand, highlights euthanasia and assisted suicide, also because during the ad limina visit, these bills were being discussed in national parliaments. That sentence is also mentioned in America and in Asia. War, Africa and Asia, but as I said, many of the reports we analyzed dates before 2020. Today, this perception will be different, and also discrimination of people with disabilities is very highly felt in Africa and in Asia. These now we thought that we would take a step further. That is, we sent a questionnaire in order to deepen and systematize our analysis. And we prepared this questionnaire in November 2023 and sent it to a number of contacts selected from among members and consultants of the Dicastery, pastoral workers, and academic experts. And the answers to the questionnaire, as well as touching on various themes that had already emerged from the ad limina visit, helped to better identify the aims and instruments of the pastoral care of the human family, human life. The first question was there specific pastoral care in our dioceses to promote and safeguard the value of human life? And these were the answers. There is not always specific pastoral care at the diocesan level. Often the pastoral care of human life is integrated with the pastoral care of families or healthcare workers at other times, and it is linked to doctrinal issues, etc. And the pastoral care or human life ministry involves clerics, religious, and lay people alike with the responsibilities that vary according to the context. The second question was, what do you mean by the expression pastoral care of human life or ministry for human life? We tried to find some common ground, and we identified the 5 main areas: evangelization, that is service and witness to the dignity of the person; social action, which is fundamental for the respect for life from conception to natural death; promotion of human flourishing and dignity; care of frailty; moral and doctrinal formation, theoretical and formative reflection on life. And the need to integrate ethical and moral formation was especially highlighted. Ethical issues and social doctrine of the church, with a study of official church documents, ethics of medical decisions, social justice, environmental ethics, spaces for encounter and dialogue, and common language consistent with the magisterium. Another important area is prayer and spiritual support. In the encounter with God, illuminating awareness of the gift of life, and the hospital chaplains and the administration of the sacraments to the sick, the theological reflection and pastoral accompaniment on birth and dying. And then the cultural dimension, taking up responsibility, denunciating attacks against life, formation of leaders, involvement of the community, representation of Christian values in the public debate. Now, the third question was, what topics do you think should be part of a pastoral action to promote and preserve human life? And again, here we identified 5 main pillars: beginning of life, life as a gift; eugenics, marital life, care of nascent life; abortion, responsible procreation; infertility, in vitro fertilization; paternity and maternity; infanticide; birth control; surrogate motherhood; and also the social dimension, the importance of accompanying migrants people with disability, accompaniment of the frail, psychiatric patients, trafficking, deportation, slavery, dangerous working condition, and then research, dignity of human embryos, research on human beings, genetic manipulation, and then the cross-cutting issues like religious freedom and objection of conscience, education of children, integral development of the person. The fourth question, what relationship exists between the pastoral care of human life and bioethics and bio-law? So the common objective is the promotion of life and human dignity in an ideal context. Bioethics, bio-law, and the pastoral care of human life are coherent and complementary since they are founded on Christian anthropology. However, bioethics, which studies moral principles and values for making decisions in the medical and scientific spheres, and bio-law, which regulates the rights and duties in clinical practice and biomedical research, tells us, reminds us that life is a gift of God. And then the fifth question, do you know of any good practices to train the lay faithful to live the Christian faith and moral life in a coherent manner? Well, pastoral letters, community activities dedicated to families and parents, conferences, structured academic training courses, and more on moral teaching, and the church's social doctrine, campaigns and marches for life, prayer vigils. But there is a problem of consistency between, the moral and the Christian life of people. Within a pastoral care of human life, which objectives do you consider really urgent to accompany lay people and families to face the challenges of our time in a Christian manner? Well, promoting a shared anthropological vision in the Christian community, listening to and accompanying people in difficulty, coordination between pastoral areas, and understanding values related to parenting, sexuality, and care, offer help and support, catechesis and training, strengthening the influence of associations, offering concrete alternatives to abortion, euthanasia, and suicide, and in vitro fertilization, diminish inequalities, enhance commitment to life in relation to the current party political debate, in order to avoid the risk of instrumentalization. How can the human life ministry be implemented in practice? In your opinion, what means and types of pastoral action should be offered for the formation of the laity and to support a cultural life? Well, monitor social, cultural, and legal trends concerning the protection of human life and draw up pro-life proposals without merely protesting, coordinate with universities, scientific societies, NGOs, companies, institutes that are pro-life, create and coordinate special services at the level of bishops' conferences, dioceses, and parishes, especially pro-life services, offer training and spiritual accompaniment to the sick and their families. Last question, how does the pastoral care of human life intersect with the pastoral care of families, and with respect to which themes? Some fields, some areas were highlighted where there is this intersection, like conjugal love and acceptance of nascent life, care, infertility, adoption, intergenerational, strengthening intergenerational bonds, inclusion of people with disabilities, training in moral values, education in affectivity, charitable commitment, care of the sick, closeness to widows and widowers, combating domestic violence. And why think of a human life ministry in synergy with family pastoral care? All issues that call into question the value of life and the dignity of the person, on which the family can no longer have an effective educational action, call for a renewed pastoral commitment, where the offices of family pastoral care and pastoral care for life are separate in the local churches for organizational reasons. Close cooperation is nevertheless required, and synergy is essential. Thank you for your attention.